So Kasich has also dropped out. Good or bad? I don't think it matters so much. But I do think Kasich would have actually seen his numbers go up without Cruz. It wouldn't have been from Cruz voters exactly, but a lot of people that were voting for Trump to stop Cruz may have used up. The thing is that the states that are left are not the right states, except maybe California. That would have been awkward, huh? Kasich winning California and preventing Trump from clinching. Then what? Well, nothing, probably. Trump just wins on the second ballot, right? Like I said, this is only feasible now that Cruz is gone. So long as Cruz is running, Trump does win in a landslide, because nobody wants to take the chance that Cruz might win. But when Cruz is out, the stakes are not so dramatic, and there's a little more room to go with what they really want. That's not what happened, though. What happened was that John got a call from head office informing him that it's done. Trump's the guy. And they don't want to take the chance that he might frustrate the process. Because what if Kasich does win California? That would be very awkward, wouldn't it? It's been clear for a few days already, but watch it really pivot now in the next few weeks. Okay, he's going to be rebranding himself, more or less by the book. Expect flip-flops on certain issues. Expect gushing media coverage from people that were criticizing him last week. Expect every ridiculous thing you can imagine. And hopefully, maybe expect a little bit of coaching for it to begin to show. Just a little bit. I'm not talking about, totally changing the Trump brand. But a little bit of coaching would really help, to stop him from saying things that he's got to, pull back. Not that I'm rooting for him or anything. It's more just that I really think it would be very helpful if people knew what they were voting for. Is he running as an establishment Republican? Well, let people know so they don't vote for him. And is he running as, some kind of a leftist? Well, then let people know so they do vote for him. Right? It's just really unclear. It's vague. What are we going to get? Because what's going to happen in a few months is that people are going to vote for what they know. They're not going to take a chance, okay? Everything happened to align the right way for him in the primary. But if you get to November and the option is, moderate conservative Hillary Clinton versus who knows what the fuck you're going to get with Donald Trump, Clinton is going to beat the snot out of him. Because at least people know what they're going to get. Even if you're going to lie to people, the smart kids will figure out you're lying to them. But just, be consistent, pick a side, and get a message down, and be clear about it, right? Because what I'm seeing right now is that he's being pushed into aligning with the Republican Party, but he's not really. It's almost like he wishes he had run as a Democrat. There's there's a certain level of hubris that you need to accept as the Republican nominee, right? There is. And, he seems very hesitant to, accept that hubris to be a Republican. And, if we could get, are you really opposed to NAFTA? Are you really opposed to the TPP? Do you really want to pull people back? I think that his VP choice will make things very clear, okay? I saw some interviews with Ron Paul where he's like, no. And I don't blame him, right? he was the only one in the list that I put down that I thought might actually do it. And what I was thinking was, I thought that he might jump at the opportunity to actually influence um, some policy. Because you can bet that he'd be pretty influential. But he seems to be suggesting that he doesn't want to run for a Democrat. And hey, I can see where he's coming from that too. Although, how can you blame him for not being completely clear on where Trump stands when Trump himself is not entirely clear, right? I think that there's an argument that Trump is a lot closer to where Paul stands than Paul is suggesting. But Paul is reading something entirely else into it because Trump is completely unclear, right? And in the am I right? Is Trump right? Sorry, am I right? Is Paul right? Is Clinton right? Who knows, right? And that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to say is that he's got to be a little bit more clear. Otherwise, instead of pulling in the people that he wants to pull in, and expelling the people that aren't going to support him, he's just going to push everyone out. He might be thinking that by being vague, he'll pull everyone in. It's not how it's going to work. Okay, by being vague and not taking a position and nobody knows what you stand for, what you're doing is you're pushing everyone away. Because even if you can't believe what Clinton says, you know where she stands, right? This is confusing. It's going to be a messy, messy election. And I keep trying to say that I'm going to tune out. I'm focusing on Trump. This is going to be the end of the focus on Trump, of course. I'm really interested in Sanders, and so long as Sanders stays in, I'm not going to tune out entirely, right? When it does come down to Trump versus Clinton, of course, I'm not going to have much interest. But that's the deal with Kasich dropping out. It's they don't want him to accidentally win somewhere. That would be a catastrophe, wouldn't it?